Hey everybody, welcome in the kitchen with Tally Faye. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's a good day here on the hill in Iola, Texas. Any-oh-hoo, I'm working on these meals today. This meal today for supper tonight. I have already made a big old pot of Creole gumbo with the seafood going on in it. And I have made my skillet rice. So I just did those two videos. And the last video I'm fixing to do for the meal anyway, I may, if I've got the energy, do us a dessert video. But I don't know where I'm at on that yet, y'all. I sure want to, but we'll see how. It's been a long day of cooking already, right? You make gumbo, that's a long day of cooking. But this thing I'm fixing to make, y'all, is to go with our gumbo. And what I'm going to make is these crawfish corn fritters, little cornbread fritters. But it's got corn in it, but it's crawfish tails. See here, look, I got my crawfish tails. So what I got to do, I'm going to start off. I have in this bowl right here, I have 1 1/4 cups of self-rising, y'all. Self-rising, either self-rising cornmeal mix, okay? I have 1 1/4 cups of that in this bowl. I'm going to dump it in here. And then I have a 1/2 cup of regular old all-purpose flour. I'm going to put that in there. All right. I'm going to get that whisked up a little bit. What did I do with my other little whisk? Oh, here's the one I want. Let me see. Okay, we're going to stir that up together good. Y'all, these ought to be delish. I mean, please. Crawfish tails, corn. I got jalapeno, onion. It just ought to just be delicious fried up in a patty. So, all right, there's my dry ingredients mixed up together. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I have in my measuring cup here, y'all, 1 1/2 cups of whole buttermilk, okay? And I have in there 1 egg that I've beat up into my buttermilk. So I already got it stirred up in there. 1 egg, 1 whole egg, and 1 1/2 cups of buttermilk, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in my dry ingredients. Alright. Get this mixed up together. It's got my egg, my buttermilk, my flour, and my self-rising cornmeal mix in there. Alright. Good and stirred up now. Now what I want y'all to know before I go any further is, okay, on my crawfish tails, I have a cup of crawfish tails here, y'all. But what I did was I've seasoned them with, I just sprinkled it on there. Put however much you want, but it's the Old Bay seasoning, okay? So I've got my crawfish tails. I've been having them sitting here for a little while with it. So y'all do that ahead of time. Give them time to set with it and stuff. But I have my cup of crawfish tails with the seasoning on them. But in this bowl, I have y'all know that I cut my corn off my cob for my whole kernel corn, but nonetheless, it's a can of corn drained, okay? Whole kernel corn. 1 can of your corn, which I have that in here, and then I have in here, it called for a tablespoon of chopped jalapeno. I just chopped me up 1 big, nice jalapeno. 1 of them big ones, okay? I did take the seeds out of it, y'all, because between that and then all this Old Bay seasoning in there, they'll probably be plenty spicy enough. So I did take the seeds out before I cut up my jalapeno, okay? And then I have 1/2 cup of chopped green onion in here. So I've got a can of corn, 1/2 cup chopped green onion, and a big old tablespoon of chopped jalapeno pepper. And that's going right in there. Okay? We'll stir that up in it. Get it good and mixed up. Look at that, y'all. Can you There you go. See that? Looking good. This is bound to be delicious. Okay. I'm going to get me a spoon because I don't want to be fighting with that right there. Okay. Now, the last thing that I put in here is my crawfish tails that have been soaking in there or seasoned up in their Old Bay seasoning there. And you just stir it all up in there. I don't want to tear them all up. I mean, you know, so kind of stir it gently, I guess. And y'all, that is all that we have to put in here. But what I have to do is walk off for a minute from it and let this, I'm going to let this sit here, this batter set up for, let me see. I'm going to let this batter set up for 15 minutes. And then that's when I'm going to be ready. I'm going to get my skillet with my grease in it. And we're going to get our skillet hot and start dropping these patties and frying them up in there. So, I'm going to let that sit for 15 minutes, and we'll come back, and I'll have my grease hot and ready, and we're going to start frying up some fritters, y'all. Crawfish. Okay, my grease is good and hot here, y'all. We're fixing to do this thing. Okay, so you can see, I don't know, I'll put me about, that may be a little bit too much. I'm going to dump some of it out. I want me about half a cup of grease in there, y'all. I probably got 3/4 or more or something. I'll probably have to put some more of it back in there in a little bit, but right now, I'm going to back off of that some. I don't want it quite that deep. Okay, now we're looking good. And y'all, one of the other things I like to do is I got my little bowl here, but I'm going to sprinkle me some of my cornmeal in there, just a little old tad of it, okay? Because I like how that does on the crust. All right, we've been sitting here 15 minutes, y'all. Give it a stir. And I have a little 1/4 cup measuring cup here I'm going to try, and I sprayed it with my oil in hopes that it would, you know, maybe release the stuff. We'll see. Oh, it did work. Okay, I'm going to turn that fire down. I don't want them burning if I can help it. I don't mind a little bit of black on there like, but, you know, we just don't want them to burn, right? We're going to try 4 at a time in this skillet. You know, in a way, when you're doing these fritters, it's kind of like doing pancakes. You have to fry the first 1 or 2 up to get your fire where you want it. The first ones are practice. Look at that. Woo-hoo! Lord, that looks good, y'all. Just want to give them time. Like I say, I turn my, on this stove, my low isn't very low, y'all, so I have it on low on my fire on here, but, you know, I'm sure on most stoves, it's not that, you don't go absolutely down to low on them. So we're going to do it just like this. Let me get me a little fork. I'm much better at flipping these things if I have a fork to back it up with. And these just ought to just be delicious with this gumbo tonight. I'm excited for that to be our bread for eating with our seafood, Creole seafood gumbo thing I made, the Tally-Fay way, okay? That, and then I got that skillet rice over. Oh my goodness, I'm ready. I'm ready for that. I wanted to get the kids to come eat, and they done been eating gumbo, and they're tired of gumbo. So, oh, I'm talking and don't have it look, see? Okay. Get them flipped. Man, that crust looks good. Okay. Now, I'm not going to touch them. I don't want to mess with them. Best thing to do is leave them alone for a little bit now. Y'all look at that. Think about that corn and onion and jalapeno and crawfish tail being off in there. Woo! That's bound to be a good bite, y'all. See if I can see it, barely bump them, and that way you know the bottom is getting a crust on it. But you don't want to move them before you get a little sealed crust on it. So now we got to let them cook, and I'll flip them again. We're just going to play with them now until they're good and brown and stuff on there. Okay, they're starting to get pretty and golden, y'all. I kind of pat them like that and you can hear it. You kind of know they're fluffy on the inside, but I will take, like, okay, let's just check one. Let me see if y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's just, that one's fatter. Let's see. Check them and see what they look like on the inside. Oh, yeah, just about. We're going to flip them one more time. Just to get them good and golden there and all that good crust on them. And y'all, I have to regulate my heat on this old burner here, so it's kind of like right now, just because I know that my grease is very, very hot now. So I'm just turning my grease off for a second before I put my next round of them in there, so it won't just get that crust dark all real quickly, right? So I'm going to let that kind of back off just for a second and drop my dough in here again, my next round, and then I'll light my fire back. But that's just me having to regulate this, so y'all don't pay any attention to that, other than the fact that you need to regulate it however your stove works, right? Regulate it to, like when you get drop your first round of raw dough in there, make sure your grease isn't like too hot. But you know, it's fine in that you got to figure that part of it out, because if you put it in there and it's too low, your batter will sit there and soak up the oil and it'll make them greasy. So you don't want that, right? Well, here we go. Round 2. This little 1/4 cup thing is making the perfect size, I think. See, I can tell my grease is backed off now. So I'm fixing to light it back up. Let me. Okay. Back at it. Uh-oh. Woo. Almost had to fumble. Okay, there we go. Y'all look at the, woo, my goodness, I can't touch it right now. It's hot. Look at that. Can you imagine the goodness that's in that? Knowing them crawfish tails are in there, and that corn, and onion, and jalapeno pepper. Woo-wee! These little boogers are going to be good. I want to let them sit there a minute before I break one open. See, let me see. See, I can just move it. So I know the crust is forming. I'm going to leave them alone there a minute, though. These things are loaded, y'all. They are absolutely loaded. Let's see if I can do my first flip. Yep, rushing it a little bit, see. That's all right, I can get them flipped over. And then leave them alone. Leave them alone. Okay. Woo, Lord have mercy. I'm wanting to show y'all. Oh. Okay, those are cooking. Let's see here. Look, y'all. You see? Look at that crawfish tail in there. Uh-huh. Woo. I just can't bite into that yet. It's just too hot. Let me get a crumb off of here. Oh my goodness, y'all. That crust is so good. I want to see a piece of. Alright, there's a bite that'll have a crawfish tail in it. Let me blow on it for a minute. Let these do their thing. Y'all think I can bite into it? Oh my goodness. Oh. Y'all. These things are scrumptious. Oh my word. That thing. Oh my goodness. I had no idea they were going to be that good. Do not do without this recipe, y'all. I'm going to read it to you real quick because y'all see what they look like now? Okay. There's the inside. There's the crust. Oh my goodness. I could make a meal off of these. I'm wondering what something like remoulade sauce or something would be with them. To dip them in. Oh my goodness. One for the books, y'all. 1 cup of tails, of your crawfish tails. 1 1/4 cup self-rising cornmeal. 1/2 cup flour, all-purpose. 1 egg. 1 1/2 cups of buttermilk. 1 can of corn. 1/2 cup of green onion chopped. 1 big old tablespoon of a jalapeno chopped. That's your ingredients in there. Don't forget to sprinkle your crawfish tails with some Old Bay seasoning. I'm going to flip them one more time. And we're going to be out of here, y'all. Y'all look at that. We going to be eating good in this house tonight, y'all. The gumbo turned out delicious. I already know the skillet rice is delicious. And now we have these crawfish corn fritters. It's going down in the Jones house tonight on the hill in Iola, Texas. We eating good, y'all. Hey, listen, I have had so much fun with this gumbo series. And I hope y'all try at least one of the recipes that looked interesting to you, if not all of them at different times, just to see, okay? And don't be scared. y'all know that I didn't know how to make gumbo. And I've watched Byron and Amy do theirs, and I ended up having to do this today, and it worked out great. And all the other little things going with it and this and that. I mean, it's been fun, y'all. I hope y'all have enjoyed the series like I have making it. So, we'll see what other thing like that, something that people really are interested in making, that we can come up with on a series further down the road. Give me a little bit of break on it right now. I've done, by the time I get through with this, that'll be all the gumbo I want to eat for a while, right? Great thing is, it freezes beautifully, y'all. Freezes beautifully. So, listen, thank y'all again. I love you guys. Thanks for supporting me and, you know, coming on my link and making everything happen for me. I'm just really excited about it. And so, I just hope everybody just has a great weekend. It's Friday evening, y'all. And so, we got the weekend coming up, and do what makes you happy. Thank y'all again. I love you guys. And this is the last one of the gumbo series on In the Kitchen with Tally Faye.